I'm back, my beautiful people. So freaking frustrated, man. This thing is driving me crazy, man. I'm getting so freaking frustrated at this. But don't worry, I'm ordering a new laptop as we speak. I'm getting rid of this trash trap. I'm getting rid of this trash can that we have. And don't worry, so I will have a better camera and better quality coming soon because I'm ordering a laptop as we speak. I can't because I want to get good content out for you guys, and this keeps cutting it out. And I know y'all don't. And as a viewer of YouTube, I know how a viewer wants to see the person who's trying to teach them information, ultimately trying to help them. Okay, and so I know how it is as a viewer. Okay, and so I am getting a laptop as we speak. Okay, so stay with me. Okay, so I'm gonna make this one pretty quick. I'm gonna try not to make this one long because sorry. I'm trying not to make this one long because I will probably get cut out. Okay. But remember, this is just the beginning. This is the journey y'all are on with me, and we'll continue getting better. Okay. And so, what did we have today? What did we have? Sorry, I know I gave y'all a black screen. Okay, so let me scale out. What did we have to start the day? I want to show y'all where we started the day at. And sorry if I keep looking over. I gotta make sure the stream is running good. Okay. And so what do we have? We had to start the day. And remember yesterday how I said I wanted to see that breaker block formation? Well, we didn't even get a chance to get our breaker block formation. Why? Because price closed at this 536 and opened up all the way under our support that we had right here at 531. We had a support at 531. Price opened all the way up under it. So what did I do? I turned the green line to a red line, right? And so these ultimately these green lines, which were our supports, it is. I'm laughing because it is crazy to see how much this sell off is. Okay, and so let me pull up the ruler again to show y'all how much we are down from here. We are down 17.85%. That is pretty crazy. But that is not even truly. That's how much we're down from the SPY. Okay, because remember the SPY is just the S&P, right? It is lagging everywhere around the book, and I'm right next to the Wi-Fi. That's why I really think it is just a computer. Sorry about that, y'all. It is an old computer, so but we will be getting a better one. We will be getting a better one soon. That's why I love all of y'all who actually are with me through this journey. Okay, I love everybody who's actually with me through the journey because I know as a viewer you don't want to see continuation streams, which I have to keep having, and you don't want to see cutoffs and lags and ultimately all this trouble. Okay, you want to be able to see it, and I know, and that's why I will be getting a better setup for you guys. Okay, so we know the SPY is ultimately the S&P. This is the sell-off is insane. Oh my goodness. So where are we down from all-time highs? Oh yeah, still shows. Okay. Yeah, that's still a lot. 17%. So we still have 3 more percent to go. We still have 3 more percent to go. I believe. Well, about 2% to go before not being in crash or recession territory. Because remember, 20 10 up to 19.9%, 99% is considered correction territory, but anything after that is crash and recession territory, okay? Sorry, I keep looking over because I gotta make sure it's running right. Okay, so what did we see to start the day off? Man, I got all these lines. Jesus Christ, please hold these. Okay, I had all these supports, but look. Okay, so let me open up. Why do I have all these lines here? Because these are all areas of support. Price could have stopped at this 519 area or 518, right? Because this is where price reacted off of and got bumps at, right? And then price could have reacted off of this 511 area, right? Because this is where we got this big bounce up. Or actually, no, not sorry. I don't even know why I had that one there. Well, we could have had it bounce off of this 509 area, right? Because this is where we got this bounce. Broke through that one. And so ultimately, what are we going to do? These are going to turn into red lines, okay? But I still have to keep them the color they are because I'm actually going to go deeper into my trade. I just want to show you why I have these lines here. So I have other supports that next week we could hit if we keep getting these heavy sell-offs, which I don't doubt we will have. And so you remember yesterday how I had this whole, so this is kind of funny. Sorry, I'm looking over and make sure everything is running. Okay, so let me pull up my rectangles. Gotta find a rectangle. Okay. Okay. So I keep looking over because man, I got PTSD from this thing. Okay. So you remember yesterday I had this rectangle. It was yellow, but it's not very important to turn it yellow right now. Okay. So you remember how I had this whole big thing right here because we started down. We finished the day at 536, right? So I remember I had this big old rectangle down here, and I was like, "This is the area we could get a bounce off, right?" And I was like, "I don't see price coming all the way down in here, though, or at least to the bottom of here." I said, "I don't see price coming down to the bottom of this." Well, we are seeing, what are we getting? Price dropped from this 536, not giving us that breaker block formation, not even giving us a possibility of it, which we went over yesterday, which we wanted. It gapped all the way down from 536 to the 523. And then to sell off to end today, we are straight. Like you see this candle, how we have continuation and how it continued the next day overnight, giving us that gap. We have another continuation. So that means into Monday, we could have another gap down towards this area of support, or we could start off around here Monday and be continuing downward. You see what I mean? Because remember, when we see wicks at the bottom of these candles, that means buyers are buying them up. Buyers are buying these wicks up. Whenever you see these wicks at the bottom and you see wicks at the top, that means sellers are selling it down, right? Well, we are getting no buyers on these wicks. So these are continuation candles, okay? And so that's where I can tell you right now, going into Monday, what am I? I'm very bearish. Very bearish, okay? And so last stream, if please guys, if you are on the stream, you have to go to the last stream, and you have to continue from there because, and I know it's frustrating that, Devin, why do I have to keep having these continuation streams? Trust me, like I already said, I will be getting a new computer and we will not be continue having these problems because they are frustrating me just as they are frustrating you. So this last stream, it goes over on documents on my actual emails, and it'll show you proof of where I got in, where I got out, how much I got in for my trade. And that's what I want to continue doing. I want to show y'all the proof, so ultimately y'all can see my losses in proof in real time. Y'all can see my, if I follow my discipline by how much time I'm in my contracts, y'all can see how much I execute through these contracts. And I just want to be totally transparent with you, okay? So all of that is on that last one. So right now we are getting into the trade recap, okay? So let me come down to my 1 minute. Okay, before I come down to my 1 minute, I gotta see what this. Okay, so I have this 498 support line because we've seen price bounce off of here, right? We've seen buyers give a reaction off of here. Then I have another one at this at this 494 because that is also where where buyers jump back in. Why do I have this one right here? Because this is where we had previous resistance before breaking out and giving a support. So honestly, I will move this support level up to right here. Because why? We broke this area of resistance of 478, breaking up, and then before coming down and testing this area, which is 483.07 area of support and giving a bounce. So that is where we have support. So I'm just showing y'all that because we know I want to show you how to mark out these areas of support and resistance because these are where prices can get bounces off of, okay? And so I have that one there. I'm just showing y'all real quick. I'm going to delete these lines, but I just want to show y'all real quick. So I have that area of support right here. Where can I mark another area of support? Well, I can mark off another area of support at this resistance area, right? Because wherever we have resistance, when you break resistance, you turn it into support, right? So I would put that green. If it breaks down, where can I find another area of support? Well, I can find another area of support right below it where buyers bought it up some more, right? Where price jumped up, bounced down off of it, 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 couldn't break it, right? So I'm just ultimately showing y'all real quick how to mark out these areas of support and resistance, okay? So now where's another area of support? Well, another area of support would be another area of resistance somewhere, okay? So where was the area of resistance? We had a bounce off of right here. We obviously seen this was a level, a key. So ultimately I can mark out another area of support at this 459, right? So I'm just ultimately showing y'all these little things and how you can mark out these support and resistance areas so you know where you could potentially get your bounces at, okay? So I'm going to delete these areas of support. So delete these lines because I can always mark them back out, right? I just want to delete them so there's not too much lines in my there. So always trying to mess up the groove, huh? Switch to Cardano. I'm sorry about that, guys. Somebody stop me again, man. Okay, man. All right, I'm gonna hurry up and get into it because I don't want this to stop me again, man. I don't want it to stop me again. I have to have a third one, okay? And so just stay with me, guys. And I know it's not the most clear, but stay with me because we will have a better setup. And all these things will continue. I will continue going over them. And whatever questions you have, please drop them below. But remember, I come out with these every single day, and I will be coming out with them every single day. So if you don't get it on this one, you can ask questions. And on the next one, I will be here. The next day, I will be here, and I will answer every question. And every single day, I will continue getting better. And you will see my live day trades. Well, not my live day trades, but you will see my trade recaps. And I will show you the proof, just like I did in the first live stream. I will show you the proof, just like how I had in my live stream before this one, where I'm showing you where I got in and where out. You see what I'm saying? And so ultimately, you will be able to pick up on these things. Okay, trust me, you will be able to get these things and get paid. Okay. And so, okay, I'm coming down to my 1 minute because I know I've been on these lives for kind of long. And I know you're saying, Devin, man, these supposed to be trade recaps. They are trade recaps, but ultimately they're to teach you, to teach myself, and to teach you. And so we can all get better, okay? So we had this big gap down. And ultimately, it's not much to say about what I did on trade recap because it's pretty much just easy, the easiest thing in the world. But ultimately, I got to show you where I could have had another entry, and ultimately, an even better entry actually. And ultimately, I can show y'all by this example, which pretty much every single day I've had the same example, and that's why these things that I teach you are very important to get in at these places and to know these blocks, to know these key areas to get in and profit off these moves, okay? Okay, I don't know where this line came from, okay, but delete that one. Okay, so what did we have? We had an area of support at this 531, right? From this 536 from yesterday, we closed, we opened all the way up. Gotta zoom in and see my candle. We opened all the way up, and actually, let me zoom in even more just so I can make sure y'all can see it, okay? We opened all the way up at this 524 level, okay? And so under this 524 level, what did I do? I turned this green line, which it was a green line, I turned this area of support into resistance. Why? Because we broke under it. And so if I seen price trend up towards it, I would want to see a reaction off of it, or I want to see a break above it and test and keep going up, ultimately filling the rest of this gap and ultimately creating the uptrend if it was going to do that. Excuse me. I knew it wasn't going to do that. And you're saying, Devin, we don't know anything in the market. We go over our technicals and we have our patterns and our rules to see what can happen in the market, but we don't ultimately know what's going to happen in the market. Well, we do know that price wasn't going to shoot all the way up, bounce off of this, break through this resistance, bounce off it, make it support, and keep going. Why do we know that? Well, we just know there's too much bad news in the market with tariffs and pretty much inflation numbers. And if y'all see my post, job unemployment rates came out hotter than expected. We had expected numbers at 4.1% unemployment. They came out 4.2% unemployment. And you're saying, Devin, that's only 0.1%. But the market reacts like that. It's still higher than expected. The more unemployment we have, the less people with jobs. The less people with jobs, the less money in our pockets, the less money in the people's pockets. That means the less money that go into the markets, which means the markets can't go up, right? Because the less money in the markets means the markets can't move up because nobody's buying it because we don't have no money. You see what I'm saying? So that's why these economic data are very important for the market and to know them so you can ultimately have an edge. So like today, me knowing, okay, Trump's tariffs, GDP is down, okay, job unemployment numbers came down. China is talking about retaliatory tariffs. We're in a we're in a tariff trade war right now. Just all this bad news. I'm already ahead of I already have an edge on the market coming in that I already have that edge, like I said, on I'm knowing the market wants to drop, okay? And so what did we have? We opened up below this, okay? So we opened up right here. And okay, Devin, you knew it was a sell. So when it opened, why didn't you just sell? No, we still need confirmation because the market is tricky. The market will trick you up, okay? And so we opened up at 524, dropped down. We opened up at 524. We actually went up before dropping down. No, we dropped down and bought up because this is a buyer candle. So we opened up at 524. We ultimately came down. Sorry, I'm trying to understand this candle because I'm still not the best with understanding like every single candle and where it closes and stuff like this. Okay, so the market opened up actually at 423. Okay, I got it now. So I do understand it, but it still takes me a little while because remember, I'm still learning these things. So I know these things, but as I'm teaching it to y'all, it's not just like sometimes not everything just flies off the top of my head and registers. Sometimes I still have to process it through my own brain and have to, go through with it. You see what I'm saying? Okay, so price opened up at 423, shot up to 425 before getting bought back down and closing at the 424. You see what I'm saying? And so that's not too important, but I'm just explaining that candle, okay? To show y'all, I, I do understand the candle. It just took me a little while, okay? And so it broke up, broke back down, creating a downtrend. Why? Because we broke up, creating this high, we're creating this low. We wanted to see retracement and then another break of structure so we know price is breaking down, right? Okay. So we opened up under this resistance. I wanted to see if we were going to climb up to it to test it, or, and ultimately we're above this support. So I wanted to see if price was going to climb up to this resistance and drop, or if price was going to fall to this support and give me a reaction. If price wanted to open up and start to fall, I was gonna follow it down to that support and then ultimately get out once I see a reaction off of that support, right? But if we were gonna open up and climb up to this resistance, I would not have bought in for a call. Why not? Because we have too much bad data and too much selling pressure to ultimately trustfully go in for a call, because you orders, they can come and you see hit these lines exact, but they don't always do that. And especially if you have so much pressure on the downside, or if you're coming up to resistance and you have so much pressure up to the downside, it could stop short of this resistance and fall. So ultimately, if we're fighting against the data if we're going in for a call, right? We're just fighting against all the seller pressure we have. We don't always want to fight. We don't never, not always. We don't ever want to fight against the trend, right? The trend is our friend, as I keep reiterating, okay? And so what did it do? It broke down, breaking this swing, right? Breaking the swing because we had up, and it broke down, right? And where did I get in at? I got in at 833. And I got in at 833 as I showed y'all in the stream before this one, because these are continuation streams. So I'm just going to say in this stream, as I showed y'all, I got in at 833, right? Okay, so actually, what did I do? I seen the test of this bottom. I seen this wick. It opened up right here. It opened up right here at this 423. Went up, gave me a wick before dropping down, and I was actually in for that trade at 833. Why? Because price, I already knew we were under heavy seller. I already knew we had bad data. Okay, sorry, this thing is lagging way too bad. So I want to make this quick, so make sure it doesn't cut out on me. But trust me, guys, the setup will get better, and I will ultimately be able to be on these streams as long as I want, and I will be able to get all the information that I want out to you guys. But please ask questions if you are curious, because I can still text you guys and answer questions, but I ultimately do am kind of limited on these streams. Not forever, just for, honestly, we could say for this week and maybe next week, because like I said, we will be getting a new computer, and that will be better for the setup and stream. And so we shouldn't have any problems after we get that new computer. It is coming, okay? And so I got in at 833. Why? Because I'm already knowing the heavy selling pressure. We broke the swing. We're obviously showing we're heading down to this area of support. So I want to profit off of this move down to this support.